Hello, everybody. And thank you for coming to the Garden Quilt and Art Show, where good friends become family, and family is everything. I see Maria Graham. Thank you for coming. Dolores is in the background temporarily, guys. She checked in with me to say hello. Mike, I see you. Hello, Renaissance Grandma. Thanks for coming, everybody. I appreciate you, each and every one of you. So, why do I have this plug in my ear? Because I was talking to Dolores in the back. She's out of the hospital. She's not feeling the best, but I hadn't seen her, so she was in the green room just to say hello. Sissy, Joanne Stevens, is saying hello to everybody. And hi to everyone in the live. So, today, because I didn't want you guys to get bored, we are going back to something that I started for Christmas and should have been finished by Christmas. It's a really simple project. It's called, well, the small version is called the African Queen. And in the background, you saw in the thumbnail a queen mama. Why is it an African a Queen Mama Africa? Because it's a big block. The regular block is like, oh, say 18 inches. This is actually going to be a finished panel bigger than the art quilt I made a while ago with Miss Mignon. So she's going to be a big, thick girl, and she's almost finished. Only a couple of seams, but I wanted to do it live and I wanted to show you all. And if anybody wants to take the class, Dolores is saying hello to everyone. Hello, sweet Dolores. The pink girl living in the pink world. I'll leave that highlighted so that everybody can see her there. My hair is messed up. Why is that piece sticking up over there? Okay, because I was doing stuff. Does anybody else brush their teeth and do all that stuff before they go live? I woke up last night and Gina was live. No, she wasn't live. It was the replay. And she was saying, get up, fill in your eyebrows, put your lips on, some other stuff, and show up. So that's what I did. I have to brush my teeth and finger comb my hair and whatever, and get ready for you guys. Get ready for you guys. So, put in the chat, everybody who's in here. I see, excuse me, 9 of you in here. So, hope you all give the 9 thumbs up. Let me see how many thumbs up. I see 7 thumbs up. I appreciate that because the algorithm, I have been stuck in that StreamYard. It hasn't changed in, I want to say, a month. And that happened once before when I was in Arizona. And I stayed like stuck on 500, I want to say for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Then all of a sudden it jumped by 300 subscribers. Whenever I get near a round number, like I'm getting close to 2,000 and I want to give a 2,000 celebration, but it won't let me do anything. In fact, my subscriber numbers are going down. Like, what's up with that? I don't stress about it because I have a loyal base of family members. Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. I get to know a little bit about you guys, about your family. I'll bring you up to date about my family. So, my great grandson is actually up in Massachusetts today playing basketball. He's in a tournament. He and his mom are up there. My baby brother, their Uncle Joe, met them over there at the game. So they FaceTime, they chatted. Then I have a cousin. Hello, the retired gardener. Thank you for coming and welcome. My brother went over to meet them. My cousin stopped by here, my brother cousin, and he made lunch for both of us. And I had not eaten today. Yesterday, I had to get my 3-month assessment for my knee replacement and see the surgeon. So they want to twist your leg all around so they can put this down and that down for the insurance report. It's like my legs were hurting. So let me see, I can take that off. The retired gardener saying hi, Mike. Mike said the same. So, what states are you guys in? It's actually not too hot, not too cold. It's actually like the Renaissance. Grandma says like the baby bear's porridge. I'm show. I'm putting the retired gardener speaking to people. Mike, Maria Dolores, my Renaissance grandma. So today, what I'm going to do is something quick. Dolores, aren't you supposed to be taking a nap like they tell me when oh, the retired gardener is in California in the Central Valley. I lived in several places in California. I lived in 10B in LA, up near Rialto, a couple of places. Maria Graham is in South Carolina. You can just put your zone in the state. You don't have to put your exact city in. So, Joanne Stevens, for those of you who don't know, well, first let me say if you're here on the replay, thank you for coming. Those of you who are members, the members mean the $1.99 club, and that allows me to use the money for StreamYard. I have the advanced version, which allows me to put my little logo up in the corner and have other features, more storage and other things. I don't know what all. And it's $10 a month, so it allows me to pay that. I only use retired gardeners near Oakdale, California, 9B. Okay. I remember when I was in LA in 10B, I went to visit recently. I'm going to take this out of my ear. I had that in talking to Dolores, and Auntie Joanne and Uncle Roscoe rode from Arizona to LA. And Cece's Texas Gardener, hello to everybody. And we drove to LA and we went by my old house in in I don't know what's that. It's called Baldwin Hills, but anyway, there were some rose bushes that I planted there in 1990. We went there like in 2018 or something. Though they were patented roses, they were so big and beautiful. Still there, right where maybe I don't know if my two little hands planted them or my dad came out for a while. My husband was a high rise contractor. I'm a widow. And so daddy came out there to help with like the rebuild LA after the riots. And my dad's always been big in gardening and whatnot. He planted 100 rose bushes in the lower yard, 2 in the front between the neighbor's house. We both shared this little plot. It was like in half on their side, but they loved my bushes and they kept them. They pretend they're theirs, but whoever owns the house now has them. So, you guys, this is interesting. I tried to look like a queen today. I put on a little kimono and I'm going to turn on this. Oh, I know why my machine looks funny, because I don't have on my special handy dandy. Handy dandy. You get tired of, you get used to things looking a certain way. This is a little screen modifier that I made. It's just a really heavy duty, sorry if I make you guys sick, a heavy duty Amazon box that I put batting on. I put batting on it and some fabric, but I like the angle that I get on the sewing machine. See how it looks down? So let me take these comments off so that you can see what I'm doing. Banners. It takes me a while, you guys. So I'm going to take the banners off. Or not. Okay, well that's just one. That's just one. But it's so big. Let me see if I can make it smaller. Brand. I'm gonna not show it. Okay, let's see if that takes it out. Getting used to all this stuff is difficult. Well, at least it's only one. So I will put it down. And what we're going to do, I wore dark colors so that it wouldn't interfere with all these colors. And thank you for coming, everyone. So this is a simple thing. It's pinned together, and part of the queen, part of the queen's outfit is an arm and the side. So it's pinned together, and all I have to do is sew it. So this is a create and chat at 7 p.m. Nikki and the chat go live. So you can see right here where I'm sewing. These two pieces are sewn together. This is a really easy, simple beginner quilt. And I just want to say this quilt, the group I'm in, is a sewing group that's based in, okay, let me check. I'm sewing straight. My stitch length is 2.5. The width is 0. I'm sewing with a dark thread because I've been sewing on a lot of jeans lately. And since this has blue in it, I'm just not going to change it. And it's a really simple quilt. I just didn't finish it because I wanted to do it live. And it's only a few blocks, like I was saying. Take this pin out. Miss Shirley O.G. Gardner, how you doing, sis? We finally got some warm weather. My cousin stopped by today, and I really didn't. For those of you who are visiting or new to the channel, I had a complete left knee replacement 3 months ago, and I can do a limited amount of walking, but my community garden is like quite some distance down a bunch of steps or a lot of walking. So now I'm sewing the head onto the arm. I just sew the other arm onto the body, and I'll show you guys in just a minute. And I just thought this was a nice little wall piece. What I was going to tell you is that the group that I'm in, the lady that sells this amazing African fabric that I get straight from Nigeria. I'll show you a piece in like a second. Of course, it's in my favorite color, purple. I actually showed it on Thursday. But there are people in Australia, Switzerland, all over. And we're multinational. We're from different countries all over the world. And there are queens who are light skin, white skin, Asian, whatever. There are queens from different continents. And some of them are making, like the ones that are making the smaller quilts, they're making theirs with multiracial, some light skin, some white. I'm missing a bunch of comments. I bring it. Hello and thank you. Nikki, thank you. Thank you. I bring it every day. So, because these are so simple, I might not get up to press them. So, this is one piece that I was sewing. Let me see if I could put it down flat and you guys could see what I'm going to do next. So this is the head. This is the head in the hat and one arm. And look how this goes together, you guys. And let me see. How does this go? Oh, here we go. Can you see the little lady coming together? She's on a diagonal. She's on a diagonal. So there's her head. Here's one arm. Here's the other arm. So I'm going to flip it over and put the seams together. And they do something called nestling. I put one seam up and one seam down. And, okay, so these two seams where the arms are, I'm going to match them exactly. So I'm going to put a pin right here. One pin. And this, I want to show you guys, for those of you who are beginning and sewing, those of you who are advanced, rooted. I see somebody speaking that is that rooted in essential oils? Is that you, famous? Yes, that's you. Hey, how you doing? I've been catching you in the repeats, watching your travels, watching your son, watching your family. So, famous, this is something that you could easily make. For those of you who don't have a machine, somebody asked me a good beginning machine. I usually do a lot of pinning. This is just a straight line, so I'm not even pinning it. And if I miss anybody in the chat, Barb Brownlee, I don't know if I say hello to the retired gardener. For those of you, if she hasn't fallen asleep, she's watching in the background. Dolores is with us in the back, and she actually started the live. So what I'm doing with this edge, when I'm sewing a long piece, whether I pin it, not pin it, I always make sure that my ends end up in the same place that I stop together, because fabric that's cut on the diagonal, long pieces tend to stretch. Hey, 755. Thank you for coming. And welcome. I thought about you the other day when I went in the Dollar Tree, because they had some small little spritz bottles. And when I'm painting with my acrylic paints, I can never find my little spritzer or spray bottles. And I need to do some painting because I haven't painted lately, and just to get some stuff done. I've got some canvases that I've actually primed, ready to sew. Got my subject that I'm going to, and I didn't do it yet, but I've been pumping, getting things out. I did finish my Mother's Day gifts. The little pocket, I made a bunch of pocket crossbody bags. And I showed my middle great granddaughter because her mom is traveling with her brother for the weekend for a basketball tournament. And she cooked lunch from scratch for grandma today and her. She made broccoli and I forgot all, but she cooked lunch from scratch and it's delicious. We're talking about an 18-year-old, almost 19-year-old. Everybody cooks from scratch. I'm excited to show you all this because this queen is done. Do you see that? She is done. There are different ways you can sew the arms on, the hands on, but this is the way that I chose to do it. Now to make this squared up, to square it up, I'm going to put some diagonal pieces on. I'm bending over here because I have them on the floor. So to balance this, to make sure that it's even, I take, when I have long pieces, I fold them. And this fabric, this is a batik. With batiks, true batiks, it's in so much saturated fabrics and inks and dyes that you can hardly tell one side from the other. So this is the right side. Just for giggles and kicks, I'm going to put a pin because I have some white chalk here. If I put the white chalk here, I may not see it. So to make sure this is centered, I'm just going to put a little pin. I'm going to the center of this side and I'm going to put a little pin and crease it because I want to center them. For those of you who make quilts or borders, you want to center your seams so you don't end up with waffly edges. So these two, I do this with my handbags, everything. This is my method of printing, and I'm trying to make sure that I have the right sides together because guess what? With batiks, you can hardly tell the right side from the wrong side. And guess what? It doesn't even matter. It's whatever you like. So now the middle is there. The sides don't match up. You see where this is sticking over this edge? Because this will be cut off when I put the other sides on. What you're doing is making sure that this big side is covered. So I'm just pinning it. You see where it laps over? And I'm going to put one pin here. Mike, this is a simple pattern that, look, I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see how thick and luxurious this fabric is? It is so thick. Big Rooster, thank you for coming, sir. I cut up all of your jeans you sent me to go in my mom's quilt. I've been cutting for 2 days. Oh. And while she's in here, Kelly, I bring it. She said, what size are those jeans? Because she wanted some. I told her, I said, I'm not doing any snitching. You got to ask him. The jean sizes, most people blot them out, blur them out. So I'm finding the center of this piece. It doesn't look like it's centered because, let me stop talking for a minute so I can find the right side and the wrong side of this fabric. This is the right side because it's so luxurious that the ink is saturated on either side. So I'm finding the center And this is so cool, you guys, because whenever you have a square, it could be a quilt, it could be a bag, a tote. This is, and you have it on a diagonal, this is how you square it up. So I'm putting, it looks like kind of crazy and topsy turvy right now, but I promise you it's not. So this one, I'm putting right sides together. There's the pin I put on the right side here. I'm putting it on top of this one because the edges are not going to meet up because they're supposed to extend over the side so you can straighten it. I'm going to put this pin going up. Then I'm going to pull this. Now, this is a batik. You can almost see through this. This is an African batik, and you see how much thicker. I had a piece of African fabric earlier today, and I wanted to take one piece of it to do something, and I kept picking at it, picking at it. I thought I had two pieces stuck together, but it wasn't. It was only one piece of really, really thick fabric. So now I'm going over to the other side and evening it up. Not evening it up, just straightening it out. And I'm going to sew these two because this is actually, it takes a few minutes. I'm going to push these seams going this way and going this way, and I will pin those down just because I like all my things to match up. Dolores says, I love you, Auntie Ellen. Thank you. I love you guys too. You guys are like my family. Gina versus Gina. I was talking about your girlfriend. I'm sitting up here sweating, but I got up, put my eyebrows on, like your t shirt said last night, put my lips on, and showed up. Oh, Dolores is a new member. Thank you, Dolores. She's a moderator, she's a technical support advisor, a bestie, a daughter. All of you guys are family. Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. So Dolores is saying, welcome to GQUAT family. Those of you in the chat, you can put an exclamation mark and GQUAT and drop your link. So I'm going to, oh, you notice the banner going around today? Dolores changed it. Okay, Gina, bless your heart. Gina versus Gina gifted GQUAT 10 memberships. You guys, our treasured home is showing up. Cool. I don't know what you do, how I don't pick the new members. Somehow StreamYard does. So 10 of you will be getting a free membership. Those of you who have free memberships, if you want to buy some of our merchandise or take one of our classes coming up, you will be given a discount, usually a minimum of 10%. So thank you, Gina. We're making an African queen. Mother, I didn't say hello, Mother. I love you. Ego amote. Up at the top it says 10 gifts by Gina, and there's her face, and Dolores is one of them who received a gift membership. So I'm going to sew. Let's see. It's only 6:28, so that means this African queen is going to be done within an hour. Those of you who have 15 minutes, I've been mostly talking, but you're going to see how quickly this goes. This is a masterpiece, and I made it so that my apartment is small, and I made it so that it would look kind of like a painting, a big 755 media. I wanted it to look like a big painting on the wall. So now anybody who's sewing, this is on a diagonal, And this is a copyrighted pattern. But those of you who take the class, I will have the link on getting the pattern, and we can do it together. So I'm sewing the background on this Queen Mama, African Queen Mama quilt. And there are queens in all nationalities. This one just happens to be brown and in African fabrics. African fabrics. So I'm just pulling on this piece to make sure that the top and the bottom match up. Sometimes when you don't pin it, they slide, but I'm making a big enough seam that they will be even. Oh, I just love her. I've had her pinned to my green screen for 6 months, but now she's going to be finished. Girl Dad cooking up deliciousness. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Nothing like deliciousness. You guys, my mother really, really watches when I go live. And last Sunday when I was at her house for Mother's Day, she looked at me and she said, when you were doing your crochet, you started it, you tied it. She said, that's not the way we taught you how to do it growing up. And you know what? She was right. I have forgotten our family way of doing it with the slip knot. So that end is finished. And since I have the other side finished, guess what? I'm going to just continue sewing. I see this one in one continuous piece. It saves time. It saves thread because you're not starting and stopping a whole lot of different things. You're cutting the string and putting it in the back of the machine each time. So I'm making sure my edges are even so that I'm starting in the beginning. Back stitch a little bit. And if I miss anybody in the chat, charge it to my eyes and not to my head. Sifting some soil, Girl Dad Deliciousness. All of you are gifted members. Yay! Woohoo! Where is the bell? This is my lilac. This used to be my lead goat. She was a Sanaan, Sanaan. Sifting some soil. Mona's a member. All of you new members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Email me if you want to make this. And guess what? For those of you who don't have sewing machine, this pattern is easy enough that you can just sew it by hand. I'm gonna show you in 1 minute. I grab any pair of scissors. Those I've had for like 25 years. So I just cut the other end. I'm making sure that I have all my edges. Bar Brownlee, this would have been a great Mother's Day gift. A great Mother's Day gift. Welcome new members. Thanks to Gina who has gifted all these members. And of course, GQUAT's signature is and always has been 3 purple hearts. Why? Because at one time I was legally blind and I actually have my little card. Do you think I'm giving up my card? It says, oh yeah, now I can see perfectly with one eye. No. I'm still going to need that. I get certain perks. And so GQUAT with the 3 purple hearts, I know that, don't think that I'm copying off of Unbiased LLC. I already had the 3 purple hearts and she loves me. She made me some labels and she even put the 3 purple hearts on there for me. So I'm sewing some corners onto a diagonal, a very large diagonal square. And my backup colors, purple, of course, you guys know is my favorite. Blue, turquoise are my backup colors. I even have my whole family is into the arts. Sewing. Auntie Joanne is a glass artist. By the way, you guys, 2 days ago, May 16th, was her birthday. And yesterday, May 17th, was her 49th anniversary. So I just want to show you guys this painting that my own granddaughter made me when I moved in this apartment, and it's a feather. Feather has certain significance in Native American life and in other places because it signifies different things. You can Google the meaning of it. And she just sat and painted this for her Nana. And she has a hyphenated name, actually, but I just want you to see our colors. The 20-year-old gave me a tiny painting with a magnet on it for Mother's Day. So let me take this out and show you what I sewed so far today, because everybody's saying happy birthday to Auntie Joanne Stevens. So all of you new members, all of you subscribers, if you put exclamation mark GQUAT, you can drop your link. So dun, 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 dun. You see, I put this side over here because this is diagonal. So by me, let me see which way to go. Go to the opposite. By me putting this triangle, it's going to square it up. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then this lady will have a binding on each side. I still have 20 minutes. I have plenty time. So here she is, Queen Mama Africa. Let me take this pin out. I'd love to see you guys make this. And you can make the Queen's face whatever color you want. When I started this, I was going to make it jet black, but then I found this little brown fabric that kind of looked like, with the swirls in it, it kind of looked like it had eyes in it and a nose and a mouth if you stared at it long enough. So I decided to use this. So Nightbot is checking everybody out. Those of you who have not dropped your link, feel free to do so. So now what I'm doing is centering this piece, the other side, by putting a little pin in the middle. I'm so excited to show you guys this. And this will act as if it is a frame. We're not worried about these two triangles sticking up because you know what? When you work on a diagonal, you always have pieces that stick out beyond the piece you're working on. I'll repeat that. When you're working with triangles, Dolores put a bunch of purple hearts in. When you're working and squaring up, working with things on point, that's what I should have said instead of triangles. When things on point, you always have setting triangles pieces sticking out. So I have these two pieces, and I know the way I laid them, that the right side is on the inside. So this was such a pretty gold batik. It doesn't matter which side it is because either is beautiful. So I'm folding it to get the middle. You always can fold anything you're working on to find the middle. Mother, I'm slowing down. Sometimes my mother says, well, a lot of people in the north in New England talk really fast. I talk fast, especially when I get excited. And then my mother said, you were going fast, then you did this. So Maria Graham is saying, thank you, Gina, for gifting the membership. So I'm taking these two pins that I put in the middle, and I'm going to pin this piece together and take the extra pin out so that I don't sew over it. Don't put pins in your mouth, you guys. It's tempting, but don't do it. I know somebody that inhaled a pin once and had to go to the emergency room. It got stuck in their throat. So I'm pulling this over so that we could sew it down. I didn't get up to press it, but I know I always press my seams to the outside. And you see this? This little tip is going to stick up on this side and on this side. That's what it's supposed to do. I bring it every day. Thank you, all of you new friends and family members. So this side is pinned, and this side is pinned. Just a couple pins so that I know where to start and finish. I'm not going to put a lot of them in. And I'm going to start it. And I'm going to start a 1/4 inch from this edge. I'm going to sew. Why? Because in quilting, that's kind of the standard. You always sew what you there's no such word as always. There's always an exception to a rule. But you start and you sew a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to back stitch a little bit. And I'm using the edge, the inside edge of the presser foot. For those of you who have the Singer sewing machine, Sajima Baje, Cotham Creations, The Educated Natural, Fifi's Urban, Randy G, Black Guns and Garden, Growing What I Eat. Welcome to the Friends and Family Club, you guys. Good friends become family, and family is everything. So we will be having merch for sale soon. Anything that once you are a supporter, you're always one. When we have giveaways and things, whenever you buy merch, you will always be at the front. So I am just sewing this other edge on to square this up. Why? Because this African queen was made on a triangle. Every once in a while, pick up your work and look at it. Make sure you're catching both edges, especially if you're being lazy and not pinning the whole thing. You don't have to pin the whole thing. I'm just a pinner because I'm OCD-ish like that. But I have a couple strategic pins, one in the middle, one in the quarters. Carol, the girl miniature, thank you for welcome. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. And you guys, if anybody would like to take a class, learn how to make this African queen, you can make a queen and whatever your nationality is, whatever your group is, whatever you want. Whatever you want. It's your art, and you're just making a face. It could be you, king or queen, and there are African kings. I don't have a pattern for an African king right now, but they are available. If you want to, we can do a class on it. So now I'm getting to the other side and I'm slowing down so that I can make sure that I'm sewing parallel to the other edge. So did I pin the other one? Not yet. So I'm going to find the middle of this side by putting the corners together. And we're going to the center of the mass. Like in 2A, if you got your pew pew and you're at the range, they say go to the center of mass and then one in the top in the middle. You know why? So we're going to the center of mass of this piece of fabric. Now, since I knocked this one over the floor, I'm going to carefully try to see if I can tell the right side from the wrong side. I think one has more of a purplish gold. I think good fabric, good Indonesian fabric, good African fabric. It's hard to tell the front from the back. So, and it doesn't matter because they both have an amazing amount of fabric. I mean, color. Color, color, color. Excuse me, you guys, if I can't look up this part. I just want to make sure that I'm putting this fabric, just pinning one pin in the middle. For those of you who would like to support the channel, oh, hello from South Greenland. Greenland quilter Katie. I have been quilting for a long, long time, Katie. It's good to know you. And I would love to see you make a queen, a Greenland queen. A Greenland queen would be awesome. And you can use whatever Dolores is saying. We have emojis for new ones and member shout outs. Oh, yeah, next week I will be doing a member shout out for all of you who are channel members, past and present. Past and present. I'm a little slow getting to it. Dolores has been helping me with my technical stuff because this 75-year-old has been doing everything herself up until Dolores joined the team about a month ago, and I so appreciate her. What I'm doing is pushing these seams out. Why? Because that's what I did on the other side. This little piece is pooking up just a little bit. So what you do is take your scissors and just snip it. I like everything to match. So again, I'm putting it so that I can see where I'm sewing with my 1/4-inch seam. I'm so excited to show you guys this side because in like 3 minutes, this African queen will be finished. I can go to the side. I get a lot of my fabric shipped directly. It's called Quilt Africa Fabrics, and I get them directly from Ghana. The lady and I belong to a sewing group with them. So now I'm lifting my pressure foot. I'm going over to the other corner. I'm following the outer edge of my stitching line. Now I'm going to just clip these two ends together just so that I can smooth it out and you can better see what I'm sewing. I know what I'm sewing, but you guys can't really see it because I'm so excited to show you that once this is pressed, and I want to see if you have any questions. See, when I'm sewing just a straight line, you can go as fast as slow as you want to. When you're doing little pieces in quilting, I'm real picky. I like all my edges to match. I like all my points to go. But actually, as long as you do the same presser foot and stitching on the same machine, it will usually all come out the same. However, if you're following like an international pattern something and your 1/4-inch seam allowance is off, what will happen is your piece will be larger or smaller than the block you're trying to make. Like I have a quilt block I will be showing you for Juneteenth. It's not a quilt block. It's an original quilt called the Underground Railroad, and it's an original quilt that I made up. I'm actually an Underground Railroad speaker. I did the research for City College of New York, their original Underground Railroad website. I want to say it 1999, 2000, something like that. So you guys, check this out. So the queen is now finished. Da, 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 da. So she has borders, and you see how big she is? And I will press her, and I guess I will do the actual quilting. This is called piecing or piecework. When you put the 3 layers together, the top layer, the batting, the backing, that's what the actual quilting is. You can do it by hand or you can do it by machine. So you see up here, these are called dog ears, and you have them when you're piecing different corners. I will take this big piece and put it on my cutting board and straighten her out, and then she is ready, ready, ready to be quilted. Does anybody have any questions? Greenland quilter Katie. I'm going to pin that so that when I go back, I can find you again and come to your channel. I invite each of you to visit each other's channel. Mike, I think you got some mail, you and your wife, from me. I'm sure she would love this. The retired gardener says I'm computer challenged. Well, guess what, retired gardener? I'm 75 years old and I'm just learning, and I got this far. Just do a little bit at a time. Maria Graham says, beautiful colors, Auntie. And you just do what you can. You know, you can find friends, family. I took a couple of classes, and let me see, I've got her sideways, upside down. So these are just some beautiful pieces. Oh. This fabric, this was a fat quarter. A fat quarter is a quarter of a yard of fabric where the yard is folded in half and you cut down the middle, and 36 inches is a yard. So you cut down the middle, that's 18. Then you turn it the other way and you cut it in half again. Most domestic fabrics are 44, 42 inches. You cut it again. So a domestic fat quarter is usually 18 inches by 22 inches. So let me show you guys something, because I'm going to make something else out of this. This is some African fabrics. I'll put their link in at the end. Look how thick this fabric is. And I left the print on the side to show that it's guaranteed fabric. Some people take the edges and make whole quilts out of them. They cut the sides off. This I'm actually going to put in a denim bag as a lining. That seems sacrilegious to put this beautiful fabric in a denim bag. Maybe I'll put this on the outside and put the denim on the inside. Tori's Grain. Tori's Brain, thank you for coming and welcome. I watched the replay last night. I saw everybody, including Dolores, tearing it up. You guys were having so much fun. So, does anybody have any questions? This quilt, I would have made her a purple, but almost all of my decorations here are in purple. I live in a senior handicapped apartment now. You have a good Saturday. Thank you. So at 7 p.m., I'm going to stay on until 7. The chat is coming on. You guys, this is another piece of fabric from that fabulous fabric. Look how thick it is. You can actually see the thickness of the fabric. Can you see that? As opposed to, now this deliciousness is an Indonesian or a batik. It's gorgeous fabric. No, it's not the cheapest. It's not going to be $5, $2 a yard. But you see the difference in the thickness? That lady's fabric is just amazing. It is just amazing. I try to save up. Like if I get money for Mother's Day, something interesting, I save it up. My cousin gave me a little while ago. We exchanged money for something. It will go for my hair on Friday to do something. But if I have an extra $100, an extra $50, an extra $60, I invested in fabric. Somebody was talking about mailing something today. I think it was Dolores. And she was saying, I'll tell you what, it was my prescription. Now you need prescriptions to live or die, right? So she was talking about the retired gardener said, signing off for the evening, thank you, good night all, and hope to see you soon. So she was saying, I said, well, I'll get my prescription in a couple of days. I just had it written last night, but I still have some of it in a jar that I can take. Instead of taking it once a day, I'm supposed to take it twice a day. So Dolores said, Auntie Ellen, it's only $5 for delivery. I said, Dolores, that's $5 worth of fabric. That could be like a charm square or something. So this is my African queen. Tonight we squared her up and she's a done deal. Barb Brownlee says beautiful fabric. Beautiful fabric. I just love fabric. I just love, love, love fabric. If I just have a charm square is a 5-inch piece. They have something called layer cakes. It's 10-inch piece. You can find them already cut. I love to cut fabric. I have several size cutting wheels. You can get cutting wheels that have pinking blades on them, that have other blades where the fabric doesn't ravel. Dolores said, Rooted and essential oils wants to know how to thread the machine. Easy peasy. I will show you. This machine. This machine is a budget machine. I bought it because it's heavy duty, and I'm sewing a lot of jeans lately, a lot of zippers, and I don't want to mess up one of the delicate machines that I have. When I was taking one of the classes, one of the embroidery classes, a lady was sitting next to me with like a $10,000-$15,000 machine, the same size as this, So when I first started with quilting, I've sewn all my life. When she got up, she left the light on. I thought I was helping her. I turned the light off. Never do that, you guys. When you have a computerized machine, you have to reprogram all of the settings that you had. So I will show you. Let me see if I can take that off. Hold on, you guys, just a minute. I was trying to take. Okay, got it off. So, Famous wanted to know how to thread the machine. I will take this blue out because this is kind of hard to see. And I will put something light that might be easier to see. Hold on, you guys. So, I'm going to use a spool of thread and I will change from a darker bobbin. Oh no, I'll leave it in so there'll be a contrast so you'll see the bobbin thread from the top thread. So, what I'm going to do, I use a metal thread holder. I love this one. It's really old. It's really heavy. It's hard to knock off. Almost did. So I'm going to put my thread down here. You can put your thread up here. Up here, there's a thread holder. And a little end that holds it on. But because I use so much thread, I'm using a big thread holder. I'm looping it through the top because when you have the spools, I remember once I took a 4-hour class on thread. The thread spools different ways. Like if you have a cone, It's wide at the bottom, narrow at the top. It spools off a certain way. If you have a spool of thread that is flat like this, it spools off a certain way. You're supposed to turn it sideways like this or upright like this. Okay? So, knowing how your thread spools off is a big deal. We'll be going over to Nikki in the chat in just a minute. So, I bring my thread up if it's over to the left, and I put it around this little knob up here. There's a hook. There's a hook right here. I put the thread around there. And this is a Singer. Wait a minute. Okay. So I put the thread around the hook in the back. There's a slot in the front after you put it down. I put it down around the slot, and then there's a little sign that says around. You put it around there. I put my hand up here because there's another hook right in the back, and I catch it there. It comes down on the inside, and there's a little loop down here that's kind of hard to see. You kind of bend over. You kind of bend over to see it. Hold on a minute, you guys. And you put it around, and then it comes down. I actually cannot see it right now. And then it comes down here, and then I'm not going to, and then you put it through the needle right here. Wow, I can't believe I did it the first time. And then the bobbin thread, famous. Let me take it out. It spools a certain way. Can you see that? Can you see this, you guys? So I hold it up like this so that I can see it. Then I put it flat down into the sewing machine. And by the way, those of you who are members, you can email me anytime and I will answer your emails. All of you members, if you have any questions, email me. So I pull the flywheel. You always turn the wheel towards you, never away from you. I pull the needle down and back up. So now I have white on the top and blue on the bottom. You normally thread your sewing machine with the presser foot up. This little plastic thing in this machine goes back on the top, and this is just a little sample thing that I use. Hey, Val Creates, thanks for coming. GQUAT, you got the hallway, you got my back. I know you do. Thanks for coming, David. So I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can find some little stitch that's not straight. I don't know. Probably will mess up because I haven't looked at. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just do a fat zigzag stitch. So I'll turn the stitch length up to 4. I will turn the width up to 6. I will leave the needle in the middle and just show you guys what happens. Famous wanted to sew it. It didn't sew. I don't know why. I didn't sew it. Why? And I can't see it because it's dark. But famous, that's how you do it. And if you guys want me to, how many of you would like me to do a video, just a separate video on how to thread a sewing machine? This is a Singer machine. I am 75 years old. I learned how to sew on a Singer when I was like 10 or 11. And that machine sews the same way as this one. I've got my grandmother's industrial machine back this room over there. You can't see it, the depth. On the other side, this is about 10, 12, 10, 8, 10 feet by 12 feet. And I have her sewing machine over there. The tree quilt I made from my own pattern. Which tree? This is actually a family tree, and that is a digitized piece of embroidery. Greenland quilter Katie. Thank you for coming. And by the way, you guys, my email is my name, Ellen Pankey. It's pinned at the top, ellenpankey@gmail.com. And Greenland Katie Quilter, you're welcome. All of you are welcome to email me. 75 Media, you want a video, please? I will do one. I will do one. And so Nikki in the chat is live, you guys. Let's head on over there and give them some support. Her and Stacy and probably Bougie Pepper. Mother, my mom likes to watch you guys. They put it on TV for her. Ego amo te, mother. That means I love you in Latin. She used to say that when we were babies. This is an I in American Sign Language. This is an L. This is a U. You always put your hands at the person you're talking to. I love you, you guys. Let's head over. Oh, wait. I know what I forgot. I forgot my outro. So, let me see. I have a cute little outro. Maybe not. Well, peace, love, and blessings, you guys. I'm not able to. Oh, thank you.